Hi, everybody. On to the next step for your resume writing project. We're going to take all that great information that you brainstormed in your brainstorming assignment, and we're going to move it over and we're going to organize it nicely into a resume. So, just the nuts and bolts of everything, I'm going to remind you that we want to keep to a couple fonts just like we did with the brochure. So no more than two, and then use the different sizes, bold, all caps, or color to differentiate things. And also just be conscious of the balance and the space between categories, and you can use columns on just parts of it as well. So when you're transferring your information, you want to kind of establish your own pattern. Resumes are very individualized. Be confident in your skills. It's okay to state what you think is the obvious. If somebody's not putting that they're organized because they think it's assumed, they're not going to recognize that skill in you. So be ready to toot your own horn, so to speak. And then please, 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 please make sure you use proper capitalization and things like that. All right, so the requirements here. I will give you this as a PDF out there for you to reference. You're going to keep everything on one page only. So most employers spend about 3 to 5 seconds on their first review of a resume. So if they glance that there wasn't care, or if they feel like at a glance there wasn't care taken with it, or they see errors pop right away, into the garbage it goes. So it's a kind of competitive tool. So when you're marketing yourself, you got to bring your best forward. You want it on one page only. With your experience, don't go back any further than 9th grade. They're not going to care what happened to you in 5th grade elementary school. Emphasize your name at the top. That should be bigger and stick out. And then with your headings, try to use bold, underline, caps, larger font, things like that, so they can easily identify the different sections. Again, the fonts no more than 2, and then make sure that there is no errors. All right, so we're going to start with your name at the top of the resume. Your contact information will be right at the top too. A lot of times this header is something that you will use on your letters as well, your cover letter. Along with your name, you're going to put your address and your phone number right at the top, your email, and if you have a website, which you will by the time we finish senior sem, you will include that as well. Don't abbreviate, please, and make sure that you have city names and states and things like that capitalized. All right, so the next thing is, I know this one has an objective. We are going to leave that off, and we will add that when we have an actual job to apply for. But at this time, and it is completely acceptable to have a resume without an objective, the thought being that you can more effectively cover your goals and things like that on a cover letter anyway. So you're going to begin with your educational experience. You're going to start with the most recent. So if you are doing any PSEO classes or anything like that, you're going to want to list RCTC first, then Triton. And then you're going to put your anticipated graduation date at the end. You can include your GPA, but only do so if it's higher than 3.0 or above. Otherwise, leave it off. Okay, when you are transferring your information from your employment history or activities, volunteer experiences, you're going to want to start those skills with an action verb. So the other tool you're going to have as part of this assignment is the power verbs for your resume. This also can help you brainstorm and think of maybe skills that you didn't think of before. to try to add a little bit of more substance to your resume. This is a 2-page document, so make sure that you go through, if you're like, I don't even know, I can't just keep saying I trained, right? Try to have a different power verb for each line, and that just shows that you have diverse skills and things to offer. Next, we're going to look at your job experience, and you're going to use those power verbs for your job experience, volunteer work, and extracurriculars. You want to list those in the most recent first, and then list your duties, skills, and responsibilities. And again, use that those power verbs if you need to. Then at the very last thing you're going to add to your resume is your references. You want to have the name and the title of a person, the phone number and the email, and the address just needs to be the city and state. You don't need to have their street address there. So I just want to give you some different examples here again to look at. You can see that this one, Tracy Orman and Lexi Borgeson, neither one of them include an objective. We will probably add an objective. It just says to obtain a position as a welder or as a whatever you think you're going to apply for, excuse me. Your template examples are going to be somewhat similar. You can adjust things as you go and change colors and things like that. That's your choice. So your first one looks like this, and it is a Google assignment attachment. This is in Google Slides, so you can just delete the 2 templates that you do not want to use. If it looks really small and you need to enlarge it, use that little magnifying glass at the top of your page. So here's one where it's kind of in like a block letter format, and everything is left justified. The only thing in columns is your references. The next one, we add 2 columns, kind of organizing our education on the left and then everything else on the right with our references at the bottom. And the last one just kind of flip-flops everything, and they organize their address even a little bit differently. So really, if you want to do a combination of these 2, or these 3, excuse me, that's fine, as long as you maintain that look of balance and no errors. Let me know if you need anything, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.